Welcome to the Enslaved Odyssey to the West, Pigsy's Perfect 10 100% speedrun tutorial / guide. Pigsy's Perfect 10 is a DLC for Enslaved, and the 100% component of it involves collecting all 39 collectibles. This includes 12 pin-up posters and 27 food items. Getting all these collectibles gets you the Dinner Date Achievement Trophy, so if you're just interested in getting the trophy, it's the video for you. You can follow this guide and see where all the collectibles are, because I'll be pointing them all out. There is a written guide out there by Crossic called Pigsy's Perfect 10 Item Locations, and in that guide he has written information and pictures to where all the collectibles are. As well, in the guide there is a video linked by mRitual1 which visually shows all the locations of the collectibles. I'm playing on the PC version of the game, which is called the Premium Edition, and it comes with the DLC. The game's also out on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and I'm pretty sure this is DLC that goes on top of that. The Englishman is the only other person that has run Pigsy's Perfect 10, but the 80% category, and they have a world record of 50:28. As well as a marathon run as well with a better time. I'll link their world record video in the description, as well as Crossic's guide and anything else that I mentioned as well. With all that being said, we'll jump right into it. So to find Pigsy's Perfect 10 in the title screen, you go down to Extras, and in the Extras tab, there's Pigsy's Perfect 10 right there. There's a little bit of a plot summary to the left, but the basic plot of this game is that Pigsy and with his companion robot Truffles, they are looking for 3 companions in the Titan graveyard to build the perfect female companion, as it's getting a bit lonely. Alright. We'll go through the options now. Now for control options, I love to have the vibration function turned off. I'm not a fan of vibration. All the rest I usually leave the same. For audio options, subtitles I'll have on, music I'll put a bit down, as well as the effects volume, as the sniper rifle, especially gunplay, can get a bit loud. For display options, I'm playing at 1920 1080, high graphics settings, VSync on. You can see in the top left corner on the screen I'm playing at 60 FPS. Motion blur and motion blur pause I'm going to have off as well. Now timing begins after selecting new journey, which you can see there. And the rules state that you got to play on a fresh save file. To find out where all the save files are at for Pigsy's Perfect 10, as well as removing intro videos, there is a guide on PC Gaming Wiki which covers all that, which I'll link. And the save file is called DLC1save. So you just remove that if you already have a save available, so you can have a fresh save file. Just a couple more things before we jump into the run. In the top right hand corner of the screen you can see my splits, and all my splits are each of the chapters that are in the game and what collectibles are in what chapter. The P stands for the pin-up posters and the F stands for the food items. So you can see with the splits what items and collectibles are available in each chapter. And I'll be going through that through the run. And then in the bottom left hand corner of the screen you can see my controller for all the controller inputs. So I'm not going to go through that too much, but if you're having any trouble with the controls you can see what I'm doing with my controller. Time to get into the run. So 3, 2, 1, here we go. So there's a cutscene that starts off with, and we're going to skip that. And we're in the first chapter, a Man of Action, and there's 2 collectibles, 1 poster and 1 food item. Now with all the splits as well, there will all be timestamps on the YouTube video, as well as an intro and outro timestamp, so you can easily find which chapter you might be looking for. Now first thing we got introduced to was Trouble Vision, which is this, and this is specifically useful for finding collectibles and seeking out mechs. So we'll push forward. When you want to climb up things, get right close to them and then press A button to climb up. Now we'll move our way to target practice. There's truffles over there. Cutscene to skip. So all the targets are in the same locations that we need to hit. And there's 3 waves. This is the first wave. Second wave now. And this is the third wave where we get introduced to the sniper mode. As you can see, if you hold down the left stick, you can see that it pauses for a little bit. You can use that if you like when you're sniping. So we'll take care of all these targets with our sniper rifle. Let's see if I got that one. I'm pretty sure I did. Now onto the other side. 2 more targets to hit. And we'll skip the cutscene.
This is the mission I've been waiting for.
So the first collectible for this chapter is a poster, and with Trouble Vision you can see it right there. And we have a grappling gun or grappling hook, which we'll be using all throughout the run. So you just spam B or circle. You can see the first collectible is right there. So we'll grab the poster and we'll continue along. We're making our way towards the second collectible of the chapter. As you can see, it's right there. So we'll grab the collectible, and those are both the collectibles for this chapter.
Say, did I ever tell you how I got this gadget? It's an epic story of bravery. Too complex for your little processor to understand.
We're approaching the end of the first chapter now, once we run into this cutscene. And then this is where I split, but I'll skipping the splits so you can see how much collectibles are in each chapter. So now we're into Dead Man's Peak, and this one has 2 food items to collect. Grapple down here. We're approaching the first collectible of the 2 in this chapter.
This used to be the biggest mech around. Now it's just
And just around this corner you can see it right there. Pick up the crackers. Grapple up here. And grapple up here. Now we're going to be rolling under here. Fastest way to move. You can crouch by pressing the L stick. That's mostly useful in combat situations. We're approaching the first mech now that we need to kill. So we're in a crouch position or under cover here. And you're usually safe from gunfire most of the time. Now with the sniper rifle, the mechs are 1 hit in the head or 2 hits in the body. Otherwise you can just kill them without the sniper rifle. But the best thing to do is a 1 hit in the head with the sniper rifle. Or you can see there too with the body. I managed to get their head anyway. We'll be coming up to 2 more mechs, and we got some cover that we have. Took care of both of them, and we'll continue on forward. Now don't grab it up here just yet, as there's a collectible right there that we need to get. That's the second and last collectible that we need. grapple up here. We can't skip this cutscene. But the best way to deal with this mech is to wait for a good headshot. And that was perfect. And now it's just a little bit of a running away sequence, making sure that we're all good. We'll just keep moving forward and grappling. And that's the end of the chapter. So now we're in the third chapter called Going Down, and there's one poster and one field item to collect. And they both are right near each other. Okay, so now that we grapple down here, if you turn around, you'll see the first of two collectibles. And then when you grapple down here, you'll see the second. The poster right here. Now we're gonna get introduced to Pigsy's prod. There's a mech approaching us. You press the triangle button, the Pigsy prod. When the mechs are in a stunned state, it's a one shot in the head, but we don't need to kill this mech. You can see in his right wrist that when you use the Pigsy prod, it starts off blue, but when you use it, it turns red, and then it goes back to yellow, and then back to blue, and then that's when you know it's ready to use again. And once we grapple down here, we'll be into the new chapter. So this chapter is called Old Roads. It has one poster and 4 food items to collect. So right underneath here, cutscene coming up. To skip. Now we'll be rolling. You can see the turret in the distance, and turrets can kill you pretty quickly. So we'll be rolling. And you roll around all around here. And then once you get to here, you can get up and start running. We'll be all good. Now before we move forward here, we'll turn around as the first collectible is here. As you can see there. Now you gotta keep in mind that if you die before a checkpoint, that you have to get the collectible again. And I'll talk about that more when we get to the refinery, but that's something really important that you gotta look out for. Firstly here, you don't need to jump across because you can grapple from here. And secondly, there's a combat encounter about to come up, and there's a cutscene that starts, but you don't want to skip it right away. Because if you skip it right away, and then you get caught and die, as you can see here. So once he's in the crouch position, and then you can skip the cutscene, because the combat encounter already starts in the in-game cinematic, and all our strats go from when the combat encounter starts. So once you come up here, it's good to stay close to the edge here so you don't get hit from the 2 mechs in the distance, and there's 3 mechs here that we're going to deal with. So we'll take care of them first. So we took care of them 3, and now we'll take care of those 2 once we get up here. I missed him, but that's okay. And a little bit of danger here, so we'll back off. We're just taking this slow. When they're duck like this, it makes it very hard to hit them. But as you can see, took care of all the mechs that were here. Now we'll grapple down. Once you grapple down, turn to your left. You can see the second collectible of the chapter is here. We'll grapple up. Then there's a collectible hiding up here. This was one of the 2 collectibles I missed on my playthrough of the game. Right there. We'll jump down. Continue on our way. Walk around here. Jump across. And we'll grapple down. and carry forward into the cutscene. Now we're gonna shoot this. Grapple down. 2 more collectibles coming up. First one, you can see it right there. And once we grapple down here, the poster you can find just here. Now we're coming into a new chapter called a Welcome Distraction, where there's 1 poster and 1 field item to collect. So cutscene to skip. So now we've got the distract device. That's the first of 4 devices that we're gonna get. So there's a turret here that we need to avoid. We've got to be pretty quick about it. So you use the distract device. Once it's activated, then you run as fast as you can. If you're too slow, and then the turret, after it's not distracted anymore, it's coming after you, as you can see here. Into a new combat encounter here. I'll roll up here, throw down the distract device until it's distracted, and then run across. And grab it up here as fast as you can. And a cutscene to skip. Now we ran by those 2 mechs at the bottom there, but if you're grappling up and the mechs kill you as you're grappling up, and then you'll die, but you'll respawn up here. Now there's 2 mechs here that we need to get across. So we'll just distract them. So as you can see it light up now, then you can make your way forward. Patterns here can be weird. Now the first of 2 collectibles, it's the poster, as you can see here. And the second collectible is right back here. Now we're coming into the new chapter called Jaws of Death. It's only a combat encounter really, so we'll get right into it. So my strategy here, as soon as it turns around, make a break for it. You can see there's 2 mechs at the bottom here that we just ran by. And then there's 6 snipers at the top here. Duck down here. Now we'll be throwing a distract device around here, and hopefully by doing that, these 6 snipers here will kill the 2 mechs that are at the bottom. And in the meantime, we'll try to kill the 6 snipers from right to left. So throw the distract device over here. Now we'll start taking care of the mechs as best as we can, with headshots preferably. And if you're in any trouble, you can duck down and then come back up for combat. Now where I throw these devices are in very specific spots, so keep that in mind. Every throw is in a very specific spot. He's a bit out of position, but now he's back in position. We'll see if they took care of him. They did take care of him, so that was nice. The 2 mechs at the bottom got taken care of by the sniper mechs. Now we're into a new chapter called Bare Bones. We got introduced now to the EMP device. So firstly, to deal with these 3 mechs that are here, for a distract device, then the EMP device. When they're in a stunned state like this, and then there are 1-shots to their head, we also threw the distract device in this specific position, so the snipers here can kill them for us as well. Now, I'm gonna link a video in the description, but I managed to clip through here and make my way out of bounds. And I have a video of myself running out of bounds. Didn't manage to clip when it actually happened. That was pretty cool to go out of bounds and see what it was all like. So the first collectible is at the back here. Usually at this point you'll be waiting for your devices to recharge. But since I was talking, they have already charged. Take a bit of a right angle. Now we're going to use the distract device here. And while they're distracted, we're going to use the EMP device. And that deals with those mechs. And then make your way forward. There's 2 items that we need here. First one's here. And the second one's here. Back here. We're gonna use the Pigsy prod now to deal with this mech. Jump down. We're gonna use the EMP device. Make our way forward. Now there's a chance that 2 mechs will spawn up here. They didn't this time, but 2 mechs could spawn up here. And if they do, you can kill this one using the barrel, and the other one when you stun the mechs by coming up to it and headshotting it. In the meantime, we're waiting for the EMP device to recharge, and it has recharged. But there's a poster down there that we want. So we're going to use the EMP device down there to stun the mechs. So it gives us free passage to get the poster. Now that we got the poster, make our way forward. And once we jump down here, that's where I'm gonna split. But in fact, the Spring Up the Pipe chapter starts here. As you can see, the save icon in the bottom right corner. So that was bare bones. Now we're up to Spring Up the Pipe. There's 2 collectibles here. Grab her up here. And grab her up here.
Okay, so the scrap processing plant should be just around the...
That was the first collectible that we need. Cutscene to skip. Gotta throw the distract device. Deal with the turret and the 2 mechs. Even though this mech feels like it might get in your way, it does not. We'll grab her up here. Now to grab her up to the next point, it's better to look at it, as you can grab her up to it earlier. Duck under cover here. There's 3 mechs right in front of us. We're going to use the distract device to bring them all together, and then the EMP device to stun them. There's 2 more mechs in the distance that we're going to deal with. So now that they're all huddled together, we can take care of them with headshots. And then deal with the final 2 mechs. Okay, so that's those 5 mechs taking care of these 3 over here, and the 2 in the distance. I'm not sure who's trying to still kill me. I can hear the gunshot noise in my mic, but I'm still getting shot at. That's okay. That's never happened before, obviously. Now the final... Well, the first collectible is here, the poster. This was the second one that I missed out on my casual playthrough. And the final collectible is closer to the end of the chapter. From memory. We'll see. Oh no, we already collected it. We collected it at the beginning. Those are the 2 collectibles for this chapter. Right, we dealt with that mech that came up to us with the Pigsy prod and then the headshot. This is a 1-shot. Now, to get through the store, we're going to use the lever. There was one time that mech came through that gate, and the gate remained unlocked, so I didn't need to use the lever, and I just dealt with the mech. We'll climb up here. But this hasn't happened since, though. Grab her up here. Now, there's 2 mechs in the distance that we're concerned about. These 2. So to deal with them, we're going to use distract device, throw it here, and we'll make our way forward while they're distracted, and then get to cover as quickly as we can, and then we're going to use the EMP device on them, and make our way forward, and then since they're in that state, they're 1-shot, and with them both killed, we can use the lever and carry on. I can't believe the gunshots are still going. Oh, that's funny. Alright, so now we're into an unskippable cutscene. We're going to be introduced to the stun scouts, my apologies. The electromechs. In the pop-up here it says the Pigsy prod EMP doesn't work against them, but they're not too hard to kill. So we're going to use distract device there, brings all the enemies towards that point. Then we're going to use the EMP in a specific location to stun the 2. Now we gotta worry about the stun guy. Headshots usually do more damage. And that is that section dealt with. This one can get a bit tricky sometimes. That's the best way to go about it. If you don't want to kill these two mechs first, you can kill the electromech first. Use the lever here to continue on. I'm sure the gunshots will go away once we get to the new chapter. We'll see. We're coming up to the last combat section. Cutscene to skip. Now we're going to throw the distract device over here, and hopefully throw the EMP device so we get the guy at the top. Yep, we got lucky, so we'll take care of this guy first, and then the rest of them. Hopefully fast enough. And that's those 4 mechs dealt with. Now we're at the end of the chapter here. And it's done. Okay, can't seem to skip now. Now we're going to get introduced to the allied device, which is going to be a big benefit for us. We'll make our way forward. You got to place the allied device, then press square to explode it. Now we use that on the turret, which is going to take care of the mechs for us that are in the area. So, some collectibles that we need in this chapter. The first of them, which is here, at the back here. Now to get by the mech, get by the turret, sorry. We're first going to use distract device, and in the meantime we'll make our way forward, equip the EMP device, and hopefully get to it in time. And that's that. We'll jump down here, grab the second collectible of the chapter. The third one's here, and then the fourth one, the all food items, is right at the end. There, that's the third one. We'll make our way forward to the next combat encounter. Right under here, faster than just crouching and moving. Crap all across. Now we've got a combat encounter coming up. Okay, so we're going to use the distract device here, use the allied device, the electromech, use the stun device for this guy. So we'll kill him, in the meantime the electromech is taking care of this guy, and then the final guy is here. He took care of that, distracted him, and those are all 4 guys taken care of. Usually you can, if you're sneaky enough, you won't get detected here, but that's okay, you can still adjust accordingly. Now we've got 2 more mechs to deal with. We'll roll into this cover here, throw the distract device roughly there to grab their attention so we can get headshots on them. And this is the last combat encounter for the chapter Organized Chaos. Come out to a lever that we need to pull. Come around the corner. Now I'm going to talk a bit about this last collectible that is right over there. Now once you pull the lever that's over there, the new chapter starts called the Refinery. But if you die in the first combat encounter in the Refinery after collecting this collectible, and then it doesn't count, even though it's in a different chapter. So be aware of that. So we'll grab it now. But if you die in the next combat encounter, then you'll have to recollect that collectible. That's the end of that chapter. There's just 1 poster in this chapter that we need. So there's 4 mechs in this room. We're going to use the distract device to bring them all together and then use the EMP. See, there's a shield guy there. We'll talk a bit more about shield guys. Well, with the shield guys actually, you can use the Pigsy prod and it works on the shield guys, which is a big advantage. And the collectible we need is up there. So to get there, come up here. And you come around to get it. Jump back down.
Twins. I'd sure like to be that bacon sandwich.
So this next room is a big room with a lot of mechs. I'll talk about two ways of doing it. The first way, you can see in the Englishman's PB, the video that I've linked, where first you use the ally device on the mech that runs up to you, and then in the meantime you can take care of all the sniper mechs. Once you do that, go into the next cutscene and kind of do similar to what I'm gonna do. So that's the slower way, or the faster way, which they did in their marathon run, is the way I'm gonna do it. Now I'll show you how. It's a bit of a riskier strat. So first we're gonna use the EMP device on the mech that's coming towards us. We're gonna do our best not to get spotted, but go fast in this section. Crouch into the cover. Don't worry about the guy shooting at you. We're gonna use the distract device. Move everyone's attention away. We gotta be care of that mech that's there. Hopefully gather all of these together. Use the ally device. That guy didn't work out. Hopefully it recharges by the time I need to actually use the Pigsy prod on this guy. But I didn't get a plan because I used the Pigsy prod when I wasn't supposed to. But that's okay. We'll do it again. So we get into this room. Want to deal with this guy first.
Let's make this up close and personal, shall we?
Use a distract device in the same location. Be aware of this mech. Gonna use the ally device. Well, there's no luck on my side today. I'll try again. It's okay. So use the device there. We're into cover now, into the cutscene. Oh, we died. We'll get there, don't worry about it. Okay, that went better.
Let's make this up close and personal, shall we?
The aim is to get all 4 of these enemies with the ally device, which we did. Okay, that's how it's supposed to go. Now we're going to use the Pigsy prod on this enemy coming up and headshot him. Now we can use the distract device and the EMP devices accordingly. Get roughly to this location. We'll use the EMP device on this guy. Take care of him. And that's the end of the chapter. And because we did that strategy, which is faster, you don't need to take care of any of the sniper mechs in the upper level. That's why I went for that strategy. Now we're into old school Mayhem. This first to combat encounter is notorious for me for killing me in runs. Hopefully we can get by it. Use the allied device on these 2 mechs. We'll take care of the turret, make sure it doesn't hit us. So now we got introduced to the final device, the bomb device. So to deal with the bomb device, it works the same way as the allied device. Now this is a wall that we need to explode through. So we'll place it, then get it out of its radius, which can come here, and then we'll right through. The mech here we'll use with the Pigsy prod, and kill it. Now we carry on forward. There's a pillar that we need to use the bomb device on. We'll place the bomb device down roughly around here, but we're not going to explode it just yet. Gonna overlap a couple of actions by grappling up here and then pressing the button to explode the bomb device. So both those actions happen at the same time, saves a little bit of time. Now, the turret is the thing that stands in the way of moving on. So to deal with the turret, we use the distract device to divert its attention. In the meantime, we can use the EMP device to stun it. That should work. Yep. Now we'll carry on forward. We need to load this pillar. So we'll place down the bomb device, but before we explode it, there's a poster that we need here. And we got it. And we've taken care of the turret. Now we'll carry on. We'll jump down here. We've got one more combat encounter coming up. I'm glad I got through that first section, because that's the bane of my existence when I was doing my attempts. Now we'll jump up here. There's an unskippable cutscene coming up. We're gonna roll across here. And we use the distract device, hopefully to bring them all together. There's a collectible up here that you gotta be aware of, so they'll all come together. In the meantime, there's a collectible here. And then as fast as we can, we'll try to take care of all these 3 mechs. And that's it. That's old school Mayhem.
It's not easy being an adventurer, you know. It gets lonesome without any female.
And now we're into the furnace. We're about to get in the furnace, which doesn't have any collectibles, so you don't need to worry about that.
It's hot in here. Smells like bad eggs and fried.
So grapple down here, and straight away you want to use the distract device to divert their attention.
You parasite scum.
Now we want to use the bomb device here to explode the pillar. Make our way down here, equip the distract device, roll to our cover. Now there's going to be a mech running towards us. Don't worry about that yet. We want to throw the distract device as quickly as we can. Use the Pigsy prod and take care of this guy. Then we're going to use the EMP to deal with the mechs that are here. We don't need to worry too much about the mechs at the back because they'll be destroyed. We're going to use the allied device and the guy that's running towards us. And then in the meantime, we take care of this. And all good. Second exploding pillar that we need to explode. Place the bomb down, move out of its radius. Equip the distract device. There's 2 mechs down here that we need to deal with. Throw it down. If you're in concern, you can get in cover here. Don't know what the mechs are doing here. Use the allied device on this mech. Grab the bomb device, use it on the final pillar. Get out of range, and that's the end of the chapter. So that was the end of the furnace. We're coming up to under attack, which also doesn't have any collectibles, so you don't need to worry about that. And that's the end of that chapter. Now we're back at Pigsy's home and under attack. So I use the distract device straight away. As soon as it's ready, make our way forward. Now with the EMP device, we're going to try to... Well, that didn't work, did it? That's not a good sign. Not sure why that didn't work. It was eager for me. That's okay. We'll try again. There we go. That's how it's supposed to go. Now we want to throw the EMP device, preferably hit the top guy. If we hit the bottom guy, that's a bonus. Sometimes there's a mech that spawned here, but it didn't spawn this time. Use the allied device. And activate the turret. The turret's going to be our good friend here. Usually I like to come in this corner here and deal with the waves of enemies that are coming up. Try to take care of these enemies as quick as possible. There's a few waves of 2 that spawn in this first part of the fight. This wave takes a little bit longer to spawn.
Welcome to Pigsy Land.
Usually with the shield guys, you want the turret to do all the work. Okay, well now we're waiting for the final wave of 2 to spawn. Well, hopefully. Is there another wave coming? But these are being very slow waves. Usually this goes a lot faster. But it doesn't matter. This is the final wave. Use the Pigsy prod there, if you like. Okay, so that's the first half of the fight done. Second half of the fight gets a bit more intense. But we got the turret to help us out. We're going to use the allied device and throw it down here. We're not going to activate it yet, will come in useful later. To hopefully get 1 or 2 mechs. Come up here. The turret will take care of the first wave, mostly. It's a mech that usually spawns here. We'll let him take care of the shield guy. Now for the second wave, we're going to throw the distract device, hopefully get those 2 mechs. Yep, got them both, and now we'll deal with the rest accordingly. And we've got the EMP devices and distract devices if need be. We might actually use a distract device just in case. And that was a pretty good second half of the fight. There was a cutscene there to skip. So that first half went pretty slow, but that second half went pretty fast. Now we're back, but now we've got a new way to go. So we're nearly at the end of the chapter here, and then we're out on the trail, which has 1 poster and 4 further items to collect. So once we grapple down here, that's the end of the chapter. Now we're up to the next chapter. This phase of the run is a bit of a break after everything that's happened before. Now the first collectible that we need is back here, but there's a wall in front. Now if you use the bomb device on something that's not exploding and you're at full health, then you're perfectly fine, you won't die straight away, as you can see like that. And that's faster than placing the bomb device down and then running back and then coming back. So this is the first item that we need.
Time to pick out.
And we'll make our way towards the second collectible, which is right around the corner here. Now, usually when I go around this way, sometimes it gets stuck, so I'm just going to go back the way I came. And now we'll make our way forward. Yeah, as I mentioned, there's a bit of a time to relax. See how you're feeling about your run.
I'm gonna grind you clankers into constant coils.
You get to listen to Pigsy make his jokes, usually about himself. Alright, we'll climb over here for the third collectible.
I eat, therefore I am.
2 more collectibles to go for this chapter. So there's a lot of running and collecting in this chapter. Jump our way across here.
Sinking. Just for once, it might be nice not to have to climb to the top of every damn thing. Ah! This place is falling apart. So slim and trim. Must never would have made that.
So we're just continuing our way forward at the moment. Not too much to talk about in this chapter. There's a section with the turret coming up. That's the only combat encounter in this chapter. We'll shoot this down here. We make our way forward. The camera will flip on us as we get to the edge here, but just continue forward. We're coming up to the 4th collectible now. You can see it in the distance.
Just when I was starting to get hungry, help arrives.
The final collectible's coming up now. It's a poster. Which is right behind us here. Now we'll be coming up to the turret as I mentioned. So you want to equip the EMP device, which is what we're going to be using. Now get under cover here. And we want to come to the left of this cover when dealing with this turret. Now that thing up there causes a lot of trouble when throwing the EMP. As you can see, it can get in the way. But roughly here is a good spot to throw the EMP. So we'll throw it and then roll our way along before the turret wakes up. Or he's not stunned anymore. We're going to use the ally device just in case. And here you don't need to jump across. You can just grapple from here. Cutscene coming up that we need to skip. Jump down, jump across. You want to get as close as you can here. Jump or vault over it. Now we need to equip the bomb device, as we need to get past this block. We can approach it the same way as we did the war at the start of this chapter. We're close to the end of the chapter now. Coming up to the next chapter, which has a new enemy, which you might recognize from the main game.
Your pal Pigsy, he's riding to the rescue.
Which is amazing, by the way. Grapple. And that's the end of that chapter. Now we're on to Hounded. There's one poster and one food item to collect. The first collectible is right at the start here. So if you turn around here, you can see it right there.
It's a fact. Women
Glowing green.
are works of art. What was that noise?
Right underneath here. Now we're gonna make a break for it, as there's an enemy coming for us. Hello, doggo.
Stay.
Jump down. Now we'll do about 4 rolls here, and then there's a cutscene that we need to skip. Now, before we jump up here, this will instigate a new in-game cinematic, but you don't want to skip it straight away, as the dog will spot you straight away, so we'll wait a bit first. This is similar to the other encounter closer to the beginning of the game. So we'll climb up, don't skip it straight away, skip it now once he's crouched. You just need a distract device to deal with the doggo. Make your way onto the lever here. And jump down. The second collectible, see it in the distance there. Lever here. And then be in an interesting situation here. Right now in the perspective of the doggo. So we'll make our way forward. Once you feel the wall, roll underneath and continue forward. Go a bit to the left here, then to the right. And then once you hit the wall again, you can feel it, and then roll underneath. And then now we'll just wait till the dog catches up to us. We're a bit too fast for it. Make our way forward, and then the home stretch is just a straight line. Can't skip this cutscene. We jumped onto the raft, and that's the end of the chapter.
How I planned it.
4 hours later, of course. We're up to leaving home, which has 3 food items that we need to collect. Quickly take care of this and grapple up, so we don't want to go over the waterfall here. The cutscene coming up that we need to skip, but do not go forward here, as we need to go back, because they sneakily put a collectible back here. So grab that collectible there. Now we'll grapple. There's an enemy coming up that we need to deal with, so we're going to use the Pigsy prod on it. Wait till it jumps down. Headshot. Now there's 2 enemies coming up. You can jump early here. Didn't work. It's okay. Duck under cover if you like. Going for 2 headshots here. Yeah, I ducked under cover there again, just for a bit of protection. If you feel like you're in trouble. Now we've dealt with those 2 mechs. You can grapple here. The second collectible is coming up around this corner. You have to grapple down first. Grab the collectible. And then grapple back up. Now come here and grapple down. We're coming up to a mech that we're going to use the Pigsy prod on as well. The headshot around this corner is where we're going to grapple next. And jump down here. And the final collectible is hidden around here. If we're fast enough now, we might be able to skip an animation. Nah, we ran into the wall. But if we jump... Oh, we skipped it! We jump down instead of grappling down, which is ideal if you're fast enough. Now we'll come here to deal with these 2 mechs at the bottom. We'll throw down the allied device and activate it. Shoot this down. We're close to the end of the chapter now. We just need the bomb device. Which we're going to use right down here. And right underneath, and that's the end of that chapter. So, there's 3 chapters left. 2 of them are particularly hard. This is the first of them, down the tubes. There's 2 collectibles. The first one's coming up here. You can see it in the left, the poster. But we're not going to get it just yet. First we're going to activate the lever. And then in the meantime, while we're waiting for the door to come up, then we're going to grab the collectible. And then right underneath. And skip the cutscene. Jump across. Jump down. Cutscene to skip. Now, there's a turret in front of us to deal with that. Gonna equip the EMP device. Throw it like that. Equip the bomb device as we need to get through that wall. It'd be nice to grapple down there. Run forward. Roll here. Coming up to another cutscene now, where we're gonna have a turret and a mech to deal with. To deal with those, we're gonna equip the distract device. Throw it roughly here. As soon as they're distracted, make your way across as fast as you can. Roll underneath here into cover. Now there's 2 turrets. You can see them there. To deal with them, gonna equip the EMP device. Throw it roughly in the middle here. We'll just make sure it hits. And then as fast as we can, we'll get ourselves to cover. But we're not gonna make it all the way to the end, to there. We'll come here, because by the time we get there, it'll be too late. So now we're just gonna wait for the EMP device to recharge. So we can do the same thing. Throw it in roughly the same spot. Then equip the bomb device to deal with this. Then new combat section coming up. This one's a little bit more difficult. You can see all the guys around us. The turret is going to help us out. Throw the distract device roughly there. We want to use the allied device to get both the electromech and the turret. Now we gotta be careful of the turret here. So equip the EMP. Hopefully with the guy coming out, he'll take care of him. But as soon as you do that, throw the EMP device on the turret so it doesn't start killing you. But I didn't take care of this guy actually, that's okay. Use the Pigsy prod. Alright, we can actually run by. Well, that didn't work out. I thought the turret had killed that guy, but he didn't, so it made life difficult. But that's okay. Not a big deal. We'll just do that combat section again. Allow device down. That was a bit mean by the turret there. Hopefully he takes care of that guy this time. Okay, now. I didn't take care of him again! Don't worry about it. We'll use the Pigsy prod this time and run. Usually the turret takes care of that guy, but he didn't those 2 occasions. That's okay. You just gotta learn to improvise. Pigsy prod helps out with that. The EMP helps out with that. Distract device as well. Bomb device not so much. Now we've got combat encounter coming up. First guy comes from up here. And the second guy from the bottom level. Now I equip the distract device. There's going to be 2 more guys coming out. One from here, one from down there. Then after that 2 more from down there. I'm going to use the distract device here to take care of him and distract the guy that's at the bottom while we kill this guy. Oh, we pushed him back in through the door. Take care of this guy. And then there's going to be 2 more that are going to spawn. And we're going to use the EMP device to help us out. Now you can just headshot them both. And then that's that combat situation sorted out. Before we get into the next combat situation, I'll talk a bit about it first. So let this door open here. Okay, so we're about to pull the lever. When you do pull the lever, there's going to be 2 mechs coming from out here. And we're going to use the distract device and then the EMP device as we're running along here to deal with them. Then after that, there's going to be 2 more shield guys coming from here, and they come 1 at a time. And they only spawn when you move too much further here. And we don't want them getting in our way. So we're going to deal with these 2 guys first. And then the first shield guy, we're going to use the allied device. And then the second one, we're going to use the Pigsy prod and headshot. Hopefully if you do all that fast enough and shoot down the thing and then grapple, and then you skip a cutscene. But if not, then we'll just use the Pigsy prod device. You'll see what I mean. But I wanted to give a bit of context to what I'm saying first before I go about it. So we're going to throw the distract device here, then make our way. Going to use the EMP device roughly here before they kill us. Now you don't want to come too forward here, otherwise the shield mechs will start spawning. We don't want that. Really? Okay, the first one's going to spawn. That's where we're going to use the allied device. And the second one you're going to use the Pigsy prod. It works on the shield guys as I mentioned. Hopefully if we do this fast enough, then we'll skip the cutscene. Yes, we skipped it. Nice. If not, you just use the Pigsy prod on that guy and kill him, and then skip the cutscene, and then come across. Now there's a turret down there that we've got to deal with, and there's a collectible behind the turret that we need to worry about. So first we're going to stun the turret. Roughly from here you can get an EMP shot. Equip the bomb device. So now he's stunned. Now with the bomb device we want it as close as to the turret as we can, so make sure to get the turret, get out of the range, and explode both the turret and the fan, which is perfect. We're going to roll underneath here. The second collectible is here. The camera gets a bit weird. Roll under here. Shoot this, and skip the cutscene. And now we're going to grapple all the way down. and that's the end of the chapter. This is one of the tougher chapters in the game for sure. This one is a little bit easier coming up. And then the final chapter, particularly in your first casual playthrough, it was extremely difficult. But I'll show you how to get through it. First we gotta hit the switch, the sniper. We'll take care of the first mech that comes here with the Pigsy prod, the headshot, and the second one we'll do our best to snipe as he makes his way across. Damn, we missed. That's okay. Now we're in the depths, which has the final collectible that we need. So hopefully we got all the collectibles there. Hopefully the deaths in the refinery didn't recount the poster collectible that we needed, but we'll see. That's the final collectible there, December poster. Now, there's a thing that we need to use the bomb device on. Same thing again, use it. Right underneath, there's a switch that we will need to hit. And now it's a bit of a waiting game. We'll wait until this electric fence deactivates. Jump down here, then we'll grab it up here. There's electromechs coming for us, or the stun scouts. So you don't need to deal with them at all, we'll just run away. And now, with all the grappling that we did down, we're gonna do all the grappling back up. Now there's a fan that we need to use the bomb device on. This one, you get a bit confused with the depth perception, but it's roughly, I guess roughly here is a good spot. Get out of the range, and I got the fan. Now we're underneath here, and then now we're coming up to the final chapter, the gauntlet, the end of the line. Now this first combat section, it's particularly hard, and it has 4 waves, but we'll take care of it with ease. Don't worry about that. I say that and I'm gonna die now. But now we're going into the cutscene for the final chapter. There's a lot of tough combat sections coming up, and I'll go through them. So, cutscene to skip. Okay, phase 1 of this fight. Take care of the barrel here to kill this mech, and the barrel here to deal with the second mech, and then for the final mech of the first wave, get the headshot in. And now there's 4 mechs that are going to run at us, but we're going to use the distract device to lure them all together, and then use the EMP device on them. I used that a bit too late, but that's okay. You're supposed to use the device a bit earlier. You want all the 4 mechs together, like that, jump down, and we'll take care of them. That's the second wave. Third wave, duck down here. There's going to be 4 enemies to deal with. We're going to go for a similar tactic. You see this guy running down here. I'm going to use the distract device for these 2 mechs and the shield mech. We'll deal with the final guy afterwards. Okay, so we dealt with those 3 guys. Now to deal with this mech, we're going to use the distract device. As you can see, when we're in the state of actually throwing an item and it starts shooting at us, then you can be damaged, even though it's not doing it now. But you can be damaged in this state when you're equipping a weapon, but haven't thrown it yet, rather than just being in cover. So just keep that in mind. We're going to throw the distract device here, so the mech turns to the left, and then get the headshot on. Oh, why is it running away? Now it's giving me a bit of trouble, isn't it? But it worked out anyway. And the EMP device for the final enemy, wave 4. Deal with him, the headshot, and that is this fight completed. Which doing it this way is pretty satisfying. For that last mech in that third wave with the shield, it's best to get a headshot on him, but I decided to do a runner. That's okay. Cutscene to skip. First we're going to use the EMP device followed by the distract device. It's the EMP device for the mech and the turret at the back. Throw it as far back as you can. At the same time, get the distract device. As soon as it lights up here, make a run for it, equip the bomb device, and roll, and you gotta do that pretty quickly. Otherwise, you can get killed there. Roll underneath here. Roll underneath here as well, jump across. Get out of the crouch state. Now we'll skip the cutscene. Now this fight is pretty particular. We're gonna have 3 mechs pop up here. 1 in the front row, 2 in the back row. But if you kill all 3 of these mechs, and then a new wave spawns and a new wave spawns, so we don't want that to happen. So to avoid the wave spawning, we'll keep 1 alive. So first, we'll stun these 2 and distract this guy while we take care of the 2 at the back. As fast as you can. Okay. Now that we kept this guy alive, if we kill him, more waves are gonna spawn, and we don't want that to happen. So we'll stun him using the EMP device. Make your way quickly down here to the lever. Now, the plan is to get across, and once we get across, we hit a checkpoint. And when we hit the checkpoint, then we get an intentional death. You can use the distract device here to lure him away. You're supposed to use that earlier, but that's okay. Right, distract him. Now that we're here, we're safe. The turret killed us there, but we made it across, and we didn't spawn in the extra waves. So now we've skipped that fight. Go on to the next section here. As you can see, we're from here to here. There's a turret that we need to get by. And then after the turret is the final fight, which has 3 phases, which is out in the distance there. So as you can see, the turret is killing us even though we're behind cover. I'll say we're about to throw an item. It doesn't want to show it for me, but you just gotta trust me on that one to be aware of. But to get by this turret, we're gonna use the distract device here. Then make our way quickly to this next cover and equip the EMP device. Once you stun it, quickly make your way across here. Coming up to the final fight now. But before that, we want to kill the turret. So equip the bomb device, run towards, right onto it, and explode it. Now we're up to the final fight. 3 waves stuck into cover. It's 4 mechs that are coming out first. We're going to use the distract device, followed by the ally device to get these 2 guys distracted, and then we'll deal with the rest accordingly. I'll let this play out a little bit. Okay, that worked out. Now we'll deal with these 2 guys so the next wave can spawn. This one will be similar with the electromechs. So we're going to use the distract device followed by the ally device onto the 2 electromechs to distract their attention. Hide behind cover here, and we'll deal with the 4 enemies. Then 4 more enemies will spawn in the final phase. Okay, once we kill this guy and we get to the final phase, we're going to run over here. Use the distract device, then the ally device, and hopefully get all 4 of them stunned. So kill him, make your way over here quickly, get the distract device, get it ready. 4 enemies are coming. Once they all 4 kind of come together, use the ally device. If you like, you can use the EMP device as well. Let's see how this goes. We'll try this out. I got a couple of them. We'll take care of the final guy here. And that's the final fight. The doors are open, and this is the end of the run now. So, the timing for the run ends when the fade to black when grappling up to the ship at the end of chapter 19, end of the line, which is the chapter we're on. So once it fades to black, and then that's when you stop the timer. There's usually a final cutscene that happens after that, but I'll keep it spoiler free. So I won't talk about the story, so I'll skip it and then it'll go straight into the credits. So make your way across here. It's the final grapple. And then once you grapple and fade to black and split. We'll skip the cutscene here to avoid spoilers. And now we're into the credits. And the credits you can't skip, unfortunately, but you gotta let them play out. because we're going to show in the chapter select menu that we've got all the collectibles. And we get to listen to Pigsy sing Pigsy's Blues. Now as you saw on my splits, my PB is a 4809 and my summer best is a 4713. So yeah, that's the run. It's very combat intensive. Not too much in terms of skips and glitches. There's a skip there with the intentional death in that final chapter. A couple of animation skips. It's mostly knowing what to do in combat situations, how to best go about them. I take a very fast but safe approach. You can do a lot of the sections a lot riskier than what I have done. But that's the approach that I go about my speedrunning. You can look at the Englishman's run as well to see if any of the strats that they use are more up your alley. But these are the strats that for the most part are safe but fast. So now we're just going to wait for the credits to finish and then we're going to go to the chapter select menu. And if you have any questions about the run, anything that you need to know, let me know in the comments. All the things that I've linked, that I said I was going to link, will be linked in the description, so you'll find heaps of things there to help you out as well as this video guide. Yeah, the credits take about 2 to 3 minutes, so not long to go. And we'll finish it off in the chapter select menu.
So I went down to the junkyard. 'Cause my baby, she was dead.
Yeah, this DLC is phenomenal. As well as the base game as well. Such a underappreciated gem. Just went under the radar. Just because of poor performance when it came to sales and so forth, but definitely a gem that you should think of playing. And with a sale on Steam, you can get this game for dirt cheap. So now hopefully in the chapter select menu we'll have all the collectibles. And you need this for verification purposes. So you chapter select, and then you can see there we've got 12 out of 12 posters and 27 out of 27 food items. That will get you the dinner date achievement trophy that you're looking for, if that's what you're interested in. And that's Pigsy's Perfect 10, 100%. Enslaved DLC. Thank you for watching. I hope it helps out. And that's me, Madalek.